There's no doubt in my mind that this is the time to make a change in the best interests of the football team, community, and especially our fans.
The change went halfway. Doug Pederson fired today as coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. The help wanted signs go out, but not for everybody, Brent.
GM Trent Baalke is staying, a surprise move of all the choices. This one was probably dead last on everybody's list. It was first on Shad Khan's list, and he makes the move that has Jacksonville talking, and we talk about it right now on Jags Report Live.
This is Action Sports Jags Report Live from Strings Sports Brewery, sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
I just wish the best to him. Thank him for everything he did for me, just taking a chance on me. So, I just want to thank him for that.
Well, it's going to be a new offense once again in Jacksonville. 3rd in 5 years for Trevor Lawrence. 2nd in 2 years for Brian Thomas Jr. It looks like this guy could play in any offense. What a terrific rookie season for Brian Thomas Jr. That's the good news.
Yeah, we're at Strings at the Beach tonight talking Jaguars football, the season ender, and it was a dog of a season for the Jags as they were only able to win 4 football games this year and against all teams with losing records, including a sweep of the Tennessee Titans. But with consequences, there are actions. And say goodbye to Doug Pederson as he is let go today after 3 years here in Jacksonville. He leaves after 2 9-8 seasons, but frankly, it was a year and a half of bad football.
Yeah, we should ask Tony to stop at the basketball hoop there. It's basketball season now around here. Baseball and softball and others coming soon. This season finally over, and even Doug Pederson probably is saying, thank goodness, because it was a long season here for Doug Pederson and the Jacksonville Jaguars. No surprise here. I think the surprise is that Doug lost 18 of his last 23 games. He could never figure it out, especially the close games. And I think this guy is a good football coach. I think he knows how to win in the league. He's got a Lombardi trophy, but he couldn't find the answer here.
Yeah, the offense was, one thing that I personally agreed with Shad Khan, and I'm not an X's and O's guy, but the offense was stale. Right? It just didn't have any imagination. You watch the good teams, you watch Detroit, and you watch guys like the offense coordinator, they're painting a masterpiece. You know what I'm saying? We just didn't see that here with Doug Pederson.
Well, it didn't help that he wasn't the guy calling plays. He put himself in an interesting spot. We know the owner and the GM wanted him to be calling plays. Many of us wanted him to be calling plays, and he didn't do that. So when the offense struggles, that comes back on him. The coach always takes the blame when the record isn't what it's supposed to be. But like Dan mentioned, Shad Khan referenced something particular today about this firing.
We are the most predictable team on both sides of the ball, okay? And football, to win, deception is a big part of it. If you know exactly what we're going to do on offense or defense, you better have the 22 best players. So being unpredictable is modern football, and, we have to be able to show that on the field.
Well, listen, here's the deal. If you're good at being predictable, it's one thing. The other thing is who told him that it's predictable. Is that Shad's point of view, or is that Trent Baalke's point of view? Is that Tony Khan's point of view? He says he talks to players, too. Is that the players' point of view? Fairly, it could be the players saying the same thing.
Well, you take a look at and we've chronicled this all season long, the one-score losses. The Jaguars set a record that has been around since, 1966, right?
Crazy.
10 one-score losses, starting with the opener against the Miami Dolphins, the home opener against the Cleveland Browns. You go down the list, you see them all there. You sit back, you remember how they lost each game in a different way, and it was maddening, quite frankly.
Yeah, and so we've asked the question all week and really for the last month and change, and I'm sure all these folks have, and you have as well. Who's to blame? And we have come to the conclusion it's like a 50-50 blame. I mean, you put this roster together, it wasn't as good as you think. It wasn't the right collection to get over the hump in those close games. And then obviously the coaches deserve a lot of the blame too, because they're there trying to win football games. And not immune in all of this is the players. The players deserve some blame too, but they don't usually get fired.
Yeah, they don't. And we'll get to them in a minute. But one of the guys who is to blame is the general manager. But the general manager in the end is going to be staying put, at least for now. And that's stunning to all of us. Trent Baalke has had 2 first overall picks. He's going to have his 3rd top 5 pick in what, 4 years, 5 years? It's unbelievable that this team has not improved, but in fact went backwards. He's the architect of the roster. He's the guy who brought in free agents who did not play well. He's the guy who's drafted 38 football players, and not one of those 38 players has made the Pro Bowl on his own. In other words, a couple have gotten in as alternates. Brian Thomas Jr. looks like he'll be a perennial Pro Bowler, but as for now, right now, of all the players he's drafted, not one has been a Pro Bowler. You look at the Minnesota Vikings, you look at the free agent group that they brought in this year. It transformed their football team, Brent, including the quarterback, including the 2 defensive ends, including a linebacker, Blake Cashman. It's unbelievable.
And I don't believe that Doug and Trent had a bad relationship. So working with Trent maybe isn't as difficult as some of the reports or people want to say. But the bottom line is this will be the 6th head coach with him as a GM, 3 in San Francisco, 3 in Jacksonville. So he can't figure it out with a lot of different folks in terms of sustaining success. And there's one other big note here I think that's important and we don't talk about enough. GM Trent Baalke would be the GM of one football team in the National Football League. This team.
Yeah, that's a good
point.
point.
That's it. Nobody else would have GM Trent Baalke as their general manager except for Shad Khan.
And Trent had to sell Shad on the fact that they're close. Are they close? They played the two best teams arguably in the NFL this year, Buffalo and Detroit. Lost by a combined 99-16. That's an average of 50-8. That's a butt whipping in the NFL. That's college game when you're taking on directional university. That's bad football. And I just don't see how Hicken if the owner truly wants to win, I don't see how you keep the general manager as well.
We all thought, because Trent Baalke said this is one of the best teams that's ever been built here, that the owner would take that out on Trent Baalke. He actually agreed with Trent Baalke and said, I'm taking it out on Doug Pederson.
He did.
Here he is today about why he's keeping the GM.
I think if you look at the body of work, and certainly over the last 5 years, you look at the building building blocks of players we're building the team around. I mean, we can get in the granular thing. Overall, I think, it's pretty good.
I mean, I want to look at the body of work. I don't think it's as good as Mr. Khan
Right now it's about
is.
my body of work after football season, which is about 15 pounds heavier. That's what it is.
Now, I will agree with him about one thing. About the job openings, Jacksonville is an interesting job, and it's a compelling job, and for the head coach, and I get that. Whether you may not have to work with Trent Baalke for a long, that we don't know, but there are. Listen, you have a star in Brian Thomas Jr., and you have a quarterback who most people think the best is yet to come. Whoever you bring in has to get more out of Trevor Lawrence.
And
they have to.
He's a good owner to work for, Dan.
Yeah.
Everybody around the league says that. He's a great owner to work for. And on top of this, by the way, there's only 32 of these, and you get paid some pretty good money, like $8 million a year. There's plenty of reasons to come to Jacksonville to be the head coach. And they'll have to work with these players. It was clean out the locker day in Jacksonville, and another disappointing clean out the locker day. Here's the thing that people don't talk about enough. This roster is contractually set to come back for the most part in 2025.
Well, that may be true, and that may mean that Shad Khan's going to have to eat more money. He doesn't seem to mind that. He wasted a lot of money on some free agent acquisitions last year that did not pan out, but they are supposed to be back and are under contract for next year. That's an excellent point. But again, if you go through that roster, and again, you tell me who all the really good players are, I'm not sure you're going to find a whole lot of them.
I think he's one of the better coaches to have coached in this league, and it's just unfortunate the way that things went. But obviously the organization has to make a decision that they feel is best.
It's been a great 3 years playing for Doug. I've learned a lot, I've grown a lot, and this place is definitely going to grow from the experiences we've had under him.
Came here, had my first year, which wasn't a great year, and then Doug kind of showed me what the NFL is supposed to be like and what it looks like. And his program, the hard work we put in, is second to none. So, wherever I end up, whether it's here or somewhere else, like whatever program I'm under, he set the foundation for my career.
It's time for the Game Plan, sponsored by Everbank.
Well, the search is on, and it's not off to a good start here in Jacksonville. At least we don't feel like it is because of some of the players in it. But the bottom line is now you can go request, and you can start interviewing people like Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn from Detroit this Wednesday on virtual interviews.
Well, and they need to do that. Listen, we all think that Mike Vrabel is going to go to New England. We all think that Ben Johnson is not interested in the Jacksonville job if Trent Baalke stays. So you're going to have to start working your way down the list. Is it going to be a Cliff Kingsbury? I don't know. Here are the coaching vacancies. The Raiders surprisingly have kept their guy, Antonio Pierce, for another year. So as you mentioned earlier in the show, there's only 5 job openings right now.
That's pretty slim. We thought there could be 9. Miami's not firing. Indy's not firing. Dallas, who knows? There could still be something that goes on there.
Yeah, the Bears have asked for permission to interview Mike McCarthy, so maybe Mike's had enough of Dallas and wants to get out of there.
He's a free agent potentially. Yes. His contract runs out in about a week. Again, you said Vrabel, the Patriots. A guy like Ben Johnson doesn't seem to want the Jets job.
No.
And so it's Chicago or the Jacksonville Jaguars for him.
Clearly.
Right? And he's the top
I don't even
candidate.
think the Jets requested Ben Johnson.
Yeah, because they knew he wouldn't.
And they've requested everybody.
Yeah, they've
been looking for about 2 months. So.
All right, more on the coaching search and what this coaching search has to offer coming up here on the show on Jags Report Live on another miserable Monday in Jacksonville, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the way they've added up. Not here at Strings Sports.
Look at that.
That looks food.
Yes.
That looks food. That looks like food. It is. It looks good. That's good food. That's what I meant to say.
There you go.
When it comes to trucks, I know exactly what I want. And at Bozard Ford, they make it easy to get exactly that. Let's go make this truck a little more my style. With Bozard Built, I can create my perfect truck right here. Lift kit? Check. Premium wheels? You bet. Advanced lighting package? Oh yeah. The Bozard team works their magic. From bumper to tailgate, I'm making this truck mine. It's everything that I wanted and more. From the field to the gym to weekend adventures. This truck's built for my journey. Bozard Built. Customized for your lifestyle, built to exceed your expectations. Check out the inventory and available options at bozardbuilt.com. Unleash your dream ride. Customized, covered, and Bozard approved.
This is Action Sports Jags Report Live from Strings Sports Brewery. Sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
I know we're a young team, so I would definitely love to have someone, kind of relatable to us, in a sense. Somebody with some passion. I love to play with somebody with some passion and somebody just feels strong about what we got going on here.
Jarian Jones, another one of those rookies. He'll have a new defensive coach most likely next year. And I say most likely because the way it works, these guys are under contract. So until the next coach comes in, he can decide whether to keep some of these guys or not.
They won't be back.
But the defense won't be back.
They will not be back.
Heath Farwell, special teams coordinator, maybe he gets a look.
He might be one. He might be one. Other than that, I can't imagine anybody, including the offensive or defensive coordinators, who would be back to this show.
Hey, that's where they make the beer, by the way, back there.
I need to go put our lips up against the vat and take one of those and dry it out a little bit.
Give me an IV.
Oh, yeah. It's been a long year.
First Brewery in Jax Beach. Welcome back, everybody. Jags Report Live. Brent, Martineau, and Dan Hicken. So 2 seconds after this news conference today, I said, hey, Jacksonville, do you feel better?
Oh, no. No.
Look.
No. That's a lot of votes.
I mean,
they don't feel better.
This is not what the fan base wanted to hear today.
No.
And they didn't answer the questions. So really, people didn't hear what they wanted to hear.
No, they didn't hear what they wanted to hear. Listen, I mean, if you took polls last week and asked who's more to blame, Baalke or Pederson, Baalke would usually win those polls.
I did do that poll. It was 60-40.
Okay, yeah, so overwhelmingly. And quite honestly, they would have rather kept Pederson and got rid of Baalke if one had to go or the other. So in the end, it was an interesting decision by Shad Khan, and we continue to question some of the moves that the owner makes. And look, it's a results-oriented business. Shad Khan cares. but he has not made the right moves, and this seems to be indicative of another not really good move, at least in most people's opinion.
You know, the Jags lost actually a halfway decent football game yesterday, 26-23 in overtime.
Yeah.
It's so funny this time we don't talk about it at all.
That football game got such little play. I mean, we hardly even discussed it. We break it down normally, and then that's the kind of year it's been here in Jacksonville.
Well, we will show you this.
Oh.
The Drive of the Day is sponsored by Ford F-Series. Test drive one at your local Ford dealer today.
You know, say then contractually obligated.
Okay. All right.
Mac Jones playing his final game for the Jaguars. Most likely he'll be a free agent. Brenton Strange.
He'll be back.
I think he's a piece, but they got to figure out a better way to use him, right?
Yeah, they don't use him. And this was one of the best calls of the year, quite frankly. It was like 3rd and long, and they ran a surprise draw with Dearness Johnson. He picked up the first down, and then Parker Washington. Again, these are all guys, though. These guys, they got to get better, man. They're not good enough to win football games. I mean, the results are in the pudding, Brent. And 4-13, my man.
I think Dan's point is, look, a lot of these guys this year flashed.
Yeah.
Flashed a little bit, showed you some, hey, they're pretty good players. But it's not enough to say they're really good players, right? And even the really good players that are getting paid, the Trevors, the Josh Hines-Allen, Trayvon Walkers of the world, Tyson Campbells of the world, there's still more room there to say, hey, we are elite players in the National Football League.
We're so used to bad football in Jacksonville that when a guy makes a good play, we get excited about it. And we all of a sudden put him in the really good category. The great ones make 4 or 5 of those game-winning plays a game.
Yeah.
We don't see that.
I am so scarred that I've continued this Sunshine and Rainbows program for a couple of years now.
The end of the show. That's something to be excited about.
All those players that you're talking about, I put on the wall.
They're about to pop
up. We will find out when we come back. We're live at String Sports Brewery here in Jacks Beach. Appreciate the folks hanging out with us all year long. Another nice crowd here tonight.
Great crowd.
And Wednesday we'll be at Strings in Springfield for the final Jaguars All Access as well. It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown. When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway, or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness. And most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC. We are professional grade.
This is Action Sports Jags Report Live from Strings Sports Brewery, sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
Sunshine and Rainbows. Where are we going with this one? The golf course. Yeah, the Players' Championship is coming up soon, and hopefully we can all hit the links. And by the way, even Doug would appreciate this. He can work on that handicap, get it down to 4 down there in Jupiter.
How much do you want to bet that Doug Pederson's in Kansas City next year working with Andy Reid?
I think there's a decent chance of that. He's not going to be a head coach again, right?
No.
Probably not.
No.
Brian Thomas Jr., thank you, young man. You delivered. You were terrific.
Thank you,
I can't wait to watch you play in 2025 as well. What a bright career ahead for that young man.
What a great year.
And we do start construction on the stadium of the future. Right? This is going to be a weird few years in Jacksonville, and even for the new coach coming in, there's going to be some things to navigate. But 2028 is that ultimate destination of opening up that new stadium. By the way,
might be a little more leeway for the new coach, too, with having to deal with some of this stuff.
By the way, this little girl will be running around by that time.
Oh, congratulations to Trevor Lawrence and his lovely wife on the birth of their baby daughter.
Yeah, that happened Saturday morning, and everybody looks happy and healthy. So congrats to Trevor and Marissa there as they put that announcement out tonight. And we are back here at String Sports Brewery in Jack's Beach. Brent Martineau along with Dan Hicken. One more show here at the beautiful new location.
Great location.
Here in String Sports Brewery. And
Brent, another maddening thing about the Jags, and this is symbolic of what is wrong with our Jaguars, and the fact that, listen, I think I agree with what you said earlier. I think Doug Pederson and Trent Baalke's relationship was okay. Now, once you start losing, it's the play calling, it's the scheme, it's the roster. So that happens. I get that part. But I think overall they got along fine. I've talked to enough people down there, and so have you. We would agree that it wasn't a horrible relationship. With that said, what we learned today from Eric Armstead is absolutely stunning. Now, the Jaguars paid Eric Armstead a lot of money to come in here, right? Yeah. He was going to be our big Calais, right? Yeah. He was on a Super Bowl team a year ago.
Probably overpaid him compared to the rest of the league, by the way.
He knew how to win. It was all positive with Eric Armstead, and then we brought him in, and they stuck him where?
On the edge. Not where he's been the best in his career, which is in the interior of the line, where the Jags needed the most help, by the way. That was a weak spot last year.
So we all thought, well, you know, they must have told him. And then today, he gave us this. Stunning.
Yeah, I'm going to move back inside next year. That's going to be my plan. You know, that was what I wanted to do, you know, this season as well, too. There's situations that you have to deal with, you know, in this league, and I'm going to be back playing to, you know, an elite player that I know I can be.
Here's the deal. You hear that, and you're like, because that's where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Why didn't this regime, this coaching staff know that? Why did they think they can move him? And when they try to move people around in other spots, it's never worked historically here in Jacksonville.
Not this year.
So why? And this goes back to alignment. You mentioned the relation. Alignment needs to be, we have a plan, and this is the right plan because this guy fits the plan. I don't know what they were doing with this whole situation.
On a bigger issue, I still really don't understand what the Jags' identity was with Trent Baalke and Doug Pederson. What were they? Were they a high-powered offense? Is that what they wanted to be? Were they a physical defense? I mean,
never had one.
Never understood. Never found an identity.
Which, by the way, the biggest criticism right now you can have in Jacksonville is what's the vision right now of this football team and franchise under Shad Khan and Trent Baalke? I don't know if we have the answer to that. Maybe the head coach will help change it. We're live at String Sports Brewery in Jack's Beach. Report live. One more segment to go. Hey, how about a shout out to that staff right there for all the work this year.
Great job.
They worked their tails off to get this place open around Thanksgiving time as well, and been busy as heck ever since. If you need a quality play this football season at your home, call That One Painter First Coast. Locally owned and operated, experienced employees, no builder-grade materials. And there's more, and for that, we throw it to Noah Schlicksup. That One Painter First Coast can apparently help your kicking game, too.
Well, after my failure on skinny sticks last year on Creekside game day, I've spent a lot of time out here at Creekside practicing my kicks. There's only one issue. How is that even possible? The good news is I know exactly who can help. That One Painter can handle all your painting needs, from field goal posts to cabinets to stucco. They got you covered. Though they may not be able to help with my kicking, they can certainly help with the posts. Call That One Painter First Coast today for all your painting needs at 904-495-1373.
Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one-card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville Orange Park in the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
This is Action Sports Jags Report Live from Strings Sports Brewery, sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
There we go. Yes, Jacksonville Jaguar fans. God bless you all. You guys have been great fans. It's been a tough last year and a half around these parts.
Yeah, now you look for the next thing that's going to give you hope. And hope will come in a new head coach.
Yes.
And that's really where it starts. And will that be a Ben Johnson? Could it be a Liam Cohen? Could it be a Todd Monken? He used to be a wide receivers coach here.
Cliff Kingsbury?
Oof.
Huh? Yeah.
I'll have my reaction to that. My reaction to that will be yours to Trayvon Walker getting drafted #1 overall. Here are the opponents for next year. The Jaguars know this. They have 5 playoff teams on this schedule.
Okay.
So you can navigate it.
Yes.
If you're any good.
It's a third-place schedule, man. Take advantage of that. But, again, there's a lot of work to do. They're going to have a huge roster overhaul because whoever the new coach is going to want to put his fingerprints all over this football team. And remember, one thing that Shad Khan said, he wants a coach-centric team. Yeah. The coach is going to be the guy in charge now. It was like that when Urban was here. That didn't work out. But, I mean, this is the type of thing that you do when you make changes.
I hope the coach likes to fly because they're going to the West Coast a lot and to London. It's a lot of miles next year. Hey, thanks for joining us all season on Jags Report Live. Jaguars All Access coming up on Wednesday as well. Have a good night, everybody.
I have to sell that jersey, my man.
Thanks for watching Action Sports Jags Report Live from Strings Sports Brewery, sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
For the game day hustle and every day in between, juggling my show Jag Social to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game. But with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive.
If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service. A meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bono's app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville than Bono's Pit Barbecue. Celebrate 75 years and many more to come. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to String Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to String Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. a full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.